So you are a current Madison Warhawk, and I want to talk about that. But I would like this also be an opportunity for people to get to meet you as a Torero, because let's be honest, you're completely decked out in it, and there is a flag behind you in it, and it seems like it's something you're excited about. So, why the decision of USD?
Obviously, USD in San Diego, been a really successful program last few years, and kind of just seen that through the coaching staff. With that being said, coaching staff, obviously great. I got recruited by offensive line coach Dorian Keller. Great dude. Really just had a great relationship right off the bat. And academically, one of the best schools in California. So when it came down to it, it's kind of just a easier decision just because of what USD follows academically, athletically, and so forth.
You're also still in that relatively dark shade of blue, so it's obviously something you're comfortable with.
Not a huge transition.
Let's say that again.
I said not a huge transition there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, curious about the actual recruitment process. Have you been on an official visit? You have the luck that this is local, so you probably knew the campus pretty well anyway. But how much FaceTime really interactions have you had with USD? And it's
so right before COVID hit, I was able to attend a junior day at University of San Diego. That junior day just kind of consisted of going through the facilities. I've never actually seen the football locker room in person. I've never got any of the perks of an official visit, never got to see any of the housing, but I did get to see the facilities, did get to see where I would be through that junior day. So that kind of just helped out the decision. Obviously, when it came down to my Final Four schools, a lot of those schools are over on the East Coast. And so I wasn't able to visit those. So it just made my decision with USD a lot easier, being able to see what I was getting into for the next 4 to 5 years.
You seem like you're in the small minority of people that have actually, I know you say you haven't seen the locker room, but been physically on campus and had a direct interaction. Some of these people have been like, yeah, I haven't actually met my coach in person yet. And that to me is just fascinating, because it's not going to be that way when all is said and done. People are going to go back to taking visits, all that. And you guys will forever be known as just the weirdest recruiting class in like all of college athletics history. And I think that's something that I'm still, how do you feel about that?
It's definitely different. I didn't, at the end of the day, I really didn't think I would end up at USD. It was just kind of one of the things that happened. And the recruiting process was obviously a whole lot different this year. When you really looked at it, a lot of kids weren't given the opportunities that they thought they could have got, whether that's a higher school or a lower school. A lot of kids did get opportunities that they might have not normally got, getting to play at a higher division of football. And then a lot of kids that, are at that D1 caliber didn't get the opportunity to play and had to settle for a D2, D3. So I'm just really blessed to be where I'm at.
Do you mind if we talk a little bit about the here and the now while you are still at Madison? Okay. You guys, why not just come back for league? Everybody says, why not just come back for league? You guys in the Western League, it's like, okay, why not? Yeah, you're right. Let's just come back and play all of the toughest teams. You got Saints this week. How does it feel to go from no football back to why don't we take on the number one team in the county?
Obviously our league, great competition, arguably one of the best leagues in San Diego. Honestly, I've been preparing. I know a lot of kids on my team, a lot of seniors have been preparing and ready to go. So I don't think that we could be any more prepared coming into the game. Obviously, we have a lot of young guys who graduated close to, I think, 23 seniors last year. So it's obviously a new experience, but it's going to be a great experience for the younger guys facing, obviously, some of the best competition in San Diego.
Okay, you mixed in a fair amount of like the defensive average athlete cliches there. We're going to be prepared. We lost a graduation. I'm asking more on the emotional spectrum, though, of like everybody who's a football player probably agrees above everyone else. Like, we needed this back. This is a huge thing to lose all of these games. So great. Yeah. But to go from like what I'm saying, are you stressed out, or do you enjoy the fact that you are taking on them?
Yeah, obviously I enjoy the competition. From here on out, it's not going to get any easier. I'm going to go play football at the collegiate level. So, might as well get prepared, might as well face the best competition so I can be the most prepared. So from here on out, it's not going to get any easier, and rather prepare with some of the best guys who obviously have a lot of respect for, a lot of the Saints players. of course, are going to USD with me. So, Malcolm Williams, Christian Gaeta, I know those dudes, they're ballers there. So just obviously some great competition, at Cathedral, you got, Jackson Moy and all those guys over there. So obviously just some great competition.
Yeah, it's insane. I always laugh. Like when everyone was like, "Oh, well, at least we'll get league play," and I'm like, "Yeah, for some of you that means fair and even and just kind of fun here and there." And for Avo and Western League, that just means stress every week because everyone's bringing it constantly. You list yourself as a triathlete.
Yes, sir.
Where does that fit in your life? Is that just an off-season hobby where you're like, whatever, I like crushing all this athletics stuff, or like how does one become a triathlete?
Really, it was just kind of trying to stay active, trying to stay prepared, doing something, being involved. So wrestling, track and field, I throw, and then football, of course. So it was honestly just trying to stay in shape. My coach challenged me to play or do wrestling because he thought it'd be probably one of the toughest tasks I've had to handle, which it was. So, just being able to get stronger and do what I can to prepare. Those other sports help me with that.
Well, then maybe you can give some advice or guidance to the freshmen, sophomores, eighth grade, just the younger classes in general that might be watching this, that are trying to decide, do I focus on just football or do I do this other stuff? You chose to do a bunch of other stuff and you're succeeding and going to the college level. What would be your advice?
Obviously it's, your focus has to be in all of the right places. It's not just the sports, but the athletic side of it. I would not be going to USD if my grades were not where they needed to be. So academically, you need to be, learn how to balance that. Obviously, just making yourself a candidate that can be recruited. And what I mean by that is someone who's a well-rounded person and someone who involves himself and someone who wants to be involved. I think that all can get you to the collegiate level. I mean, honestly, when you look at it, I can be considered a pretty big dude, but I'm not the biggest. I'm not the strongest. But it's my work ethic that got me to where I am.
Deal. I will close out on this question, and thank you very much for giving us a bunch of your time. Are these the coolest jerseys in all of sports in San Diego? The Madison Blacks.
You are getting a sneak peek right now. We got brand new Adidas jerseys this year. So we have Adidas jerseys.
Do we get to see one of them right now?
With claw marks on them. I don't have them yet, but
fair enough.
You will see the
Adidas. This will be the perfect tease. New jerseys coming out. He's giving you he's giving you just a little bit, not all of it, but he's giving you just a little bit, enough to get excited. Dude, we really appreciate you giving us some of your time. It is super awesome to get to know you on the show. We look forward to having you back on for wrestling season. Let's make this a seasonally occurrence. You can give us updates for season 1 and season 2, or track and field, whatever you end up decided to do in season 2. And then we will have you on as a football analyst next year or something like that. We can have you come kick it with us. We really appreciate it, Gianni. Best of luck against Saints and all season long.
Sounds good.